Hi, welcome to Philippine Antics, and I'm Heidi.
I'm George.
Hi, guys. And today we thought we would do something special for you because we've been talking about it. We're going to list the top 12 vloggers, in my opinion, that have talent and charisma, and they really put hard work into their channel. It's channels that we approve of. We feel they have like use and they're helpful. And
now, bear in mind, the list is not in particular order. And
no,
the reason being is because everybody has their own place. For instance, some of the people on our list are specifically for travel. Some of them are for bachelor vlogging, and so on and so forth. Everybody's equal.
Different areas. Some are in Dumaguete, some are in Angeles City. All right, number one is Philippine Antics. No? Okay. First one we're going to list is Kumander Daot.
Yeah, Kumander Daot. Okay, now Kumander Daot is British. Okay. He speaks basic Filipino. Okay. So he can communicate to the locals, which is really good.
Yes.
He used to have a fishery, which right now it's dormant right now. And what's he doing right now, babe?
Well, he's been doing a lot of travel. He's just showed up at the lost city of, you call it Benguet? How do you say it?
Yes.
Yes. So he's been really busy. You know, he's grown a lot since the Fighter Boys, and he hangs out with another channel that we'll be listing here in a minute. And he has beautiful scenery. He just had a baby, and he's a pet lover. So it'll roll us in what area is he in?
Well, normally he's in Mindanao, South Davao normally. However, his editing skills has grown up a bit. He has great videos.
And he does speak the language. Mostly it's Bisaya.
Yes.
And so there's a language.
Yep. He travels a lot. He was actually here in Angeles City a few months ago.
Yes. And that'll bring us to the next one, number 2, which is Becoming Filipino.
Number 2. Well, Kulas, as you guys know, Kyle Jennerman. Hi, Kyle. Now, Kyle Jennerman has been all over the Philippines. He used to drive around in a scooter. That's his main transportation. Its name is Jeff Brooks. Of course, now he's got different vehicles now. He's got a scooter. He's got a transformer truck now.
Yes, and he is Canadian, and we've watched him grow over the last few years. Same thing, part of the Fighter Boys. He has been in just about every island that he could possibly go to. He travels a whole lot.
He's basically I wouldn't say a tour guide, because honestly, most of the places that he goes to, you probably won't go to. But he has traveled the Philippines so much and so adept at the language that recently he is now what citizen, babe?
He should be Filipino. They've already accepted. It's not easy to become a Filipino citizen, but they have accepted him as a Filipino. I cannot say whether he has done the ceremony fully yet. I know he's been there, approved, and it took a lot of steps to it. And we congratulated him when this happened. Also, he's always been in that mindset of becoming a Filipino. So, and he's done a lot of traveling and a lot of growing, and also he speaks the languages too. The next one that we have, number 3, will be Philippine Info Channel.
Steve Johnson.
He is very full of information.
Yes, he's in Tres Martires, Cavite. He lives in a nice area. He usually does most of his vlogs in his nipa hut.
And also he helps people with SRRVs, which are retirement visas. This is where we've learned a lot of information. He does expat get-togethers in groups. He arranges the transportation, and they go, and I think it's on a monthly basis that they do that. People get together and come over there and sit with them and spend time with them. He is very, very knowledgeable. He's been here quite some time, years and years. We like Steve Johnson. He's got a great personality. He's always, happy and outgoing, and sometimes he shows rentals, and we find him to be very, very, very informational.
Yeah, he's very helpful.
Yeah. Okay, the next one that we have on our list of who we think has talent, they're smart, they're informational, and they tell it like it is. My boy.
Number 4, Calvin Roach, Sunshine Shoulders.
Okay, if you guys, I'll tell you what, if you guys don't want to hear it like it is, kind of like our channel, we just tell you what's going on, what's down all around. Calvin is the man to listen to. He's been giving information to men and women for quite some time. I feel that he's not quite a bachelor channel because that's not what he's really doing, but he tells guys what they need to do when they're dating, how to avoid the pitfalls. There's a lot going on with Calvin.
Yeah.
What can you say about Calvin?
Oh, he's one of the original Nitty Gritty. In fact, it's part of his title.
Yes.
He's Nitty Gritty, and
boots on the ground.
There it is, boots on the ground.
Very informational. That's all we can say over and over again. He has his get-together sometimes almost on a monthly basis now. He also does a lot of traveling, but mostly he does these walks and he gives you information, what's going down. I mean, he lets you know what's going on, and you can't go wrong if you actually watch his channel. We really do. I really love Sunshine's Shoulders. Next on the list, 5.
Geo in the Philippines.
What can we say about Geo except for Geo also knows a lot of things. He travels all around. He does a lot of travel. He's also informational. We have seen him give like bachelor information, the pitfalls, and he's gone through all the expat stuff and helped on different topics. But I was like, what? He's going to get married when he met that girl. I think it was sometime last year he met her, Maya, and I was like, he's going to get married. He's going to get married. Bam. He proposed recently, and there it was. So we were really excited for him.
Congratulations, Geo.
He's grown, and I believe, if I know this right, he traveled a lot of the other Asian countries before he came here.
Yes.
He was an online teacher. So we love Gio in the Philippines. We do watch him on a regular basis.
Yeah, no nonsense guy, and always keeps neutral.
And again, these aren't in order, guys. I know some people have done a recent list on a few other channels or in the past. This is just our, as like we told some of our people we would do one of these lists. Number 6.
Paul.
Old dog, new tricks. What can we say about Paul except for Paul reminds me of some of my ex-employers and stuff that were like straight business, straight to the point. He does a lot of interviews. He's also known very well for his interviews. That's the biggest thing I can say is you'll get a lot of stories and a lot of information. He talks about Social Security. He talks about budgets. Very informational channel. Very gentle man. He just went back to the U.S. recently and kind of like some other people, and he just got back. Not like recently, but he just came back, and he just got married recently. So our congratulations. Hey, Kitty. Okay, you know what I was about to say, right? And
speaking of cats.
Speaking of cats, I'm going to list number 7, and I put him on the list because I can only speak of a few vloggers that have actually in the Angel City area that has brought like to my attention, and we watch him because he comes in our feed, and then we signed up probably 6-7 months ago, and that would be Philo in the Philippines.
Great guy. We've met up with him already in person. Great guy.
Informational. He shows you all around Angel City, the Mabalacat City area, which is in our area. We're right on the edge of Angel City. He just moved recently with his family, or he's about ready to. He's on the border.
In the transition.
Transition of moving to Timog?
Timog, yes.
Okay, that's a nice gated community that he's going to move into. He just had a baby. Congratulations. Oh my God, that baby looks just like him. He's an animal lover. He rides around on his motorcycle and shows you things. He's just had a brand new trike that's built. He runs around on that. He'll show you some walking street, and he hangs out with a gang down there. But we like him, and he has a great channel. Be sure to check him out, guys.
Check out Philo.
I do want to mention 2 honorable mentionees, and that would be CJ Abroad.
Hey, CJ.
CJ has a great channel, and I believe it's Our Philippine Journey.
Our Philippine Journey.
Our Philippine Journey. Both great channels. Check them both out. Great channels. We watch them too, so we want to do them as our honorable mention before we move on. Number 8 on the list.
The original, one and only, Bud Brown.
The original vlogger. He has a story on, what's it, ABSCN? What's that channel? It's a channel that is Filipino. They did a whole story on him.
Yes.
They
did a mini movie
on him. And that's how we kind of seen him. And this was probably about 1.5 years ago. And then we started watching him. But he's an original vlogger. He was in the military. He met his wife here. He has family back in the U.S. Great channel. He has a lot of good information. He showed you. It was Dumaguete that he lived in?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Great channel, guys. Be sure to check out Bud Brown. That's all we can say is that he's a good guy, and he was friends of everybody. Very, very
Very
friendly.
knowledgeable. Speaks several languages.
Yes, he does. He's like the Kulos to me, but he's like an older gentleman. It's like if you could put two of them together, it was like those two are kind of like some of the two top bloggers that I would say are here in the Philippines and very
Yeah.
knowledgeable. Is there any honorable mentions of a channel that you want to mention? Anybody that you really think gives good information, or maybe one other honorable mention, and George will probably agree with me, Roger and Ismi. They are a Filipino couple, and they go through expat issues, dating issues a lot. They do some side interviews. They're raising a family. They just got married. I don't want to offend them. I want to say they're late 20s, early 30s, or 30s.
Somewhere there.
Something like that. And I'm probably either overaging them or underaging them, but they're a beautiful couple. And I think they give good information. So another honorable mention before we get to number 9, your girl.
Filipina Pea.
Oh, the P. What can we say about the P?
The P.
Well, the Filipina P has like a humor as she tells stories and problems that go on here in the Philippines. Would you call it dating advice? A little bit?
A little bit.
And then the rest of it is more of a storytelling, parts of being Filipino. I would probably say 90%, 95% of her channel is guys watching that are getting ready to come here. And that's most of these channels that we're talking about. But she's very knowledgeable, has a great channel. And we like the P. We do hear from her. And great work. So all these channels, that's all we can say is that they do a lot of great work.
Her videos are well put together, well edited.
Everything's
well thought of. There's nothing
very meticulous.
Yeah, very meticulous. Exactly.
And all these channels that we're talking about, they do great lives, great editing, thoughts into their channel, because among the flood of expats that have come in the country, there's been a flood of vloggers. And now you have what's called like mediocre content, or where people are copying off each other. And I see like 10 copies of Bud Brown now. I see 20 copies of Old Dog New Trick. You get another 20, 30 copies of Sunshine Shoulders. And it's kind of hard for you guys to kind of, what's this, and where you're getting correct information. So, we want you guys always do your due diligence when you're actually checking out channels. You should check out many. I mean, that's what we did before we come here. George is from here, but it was me watching most of the time. Also, our manager agreed that there's a flood of vloggers coming through now. And it's just kind of like, the pandemic kind of brought that around. So number 10 will bring in the pandemic information, and that would be
the no nonsense Jennifer Terri.
Jennifer Terry's great. I think it was another channel that just interviewed her. So we're trying to see if we can get an interview. I think we're going to slow down on our interviews, although we did technically slow down, but I don't know if we'll do many more interviews. But Jennifer Terri does travel. I mean, we're talking airplane. She keeps up with all of the things that I believe was the ITF, and she kept up with all that during the pandemic. There was a lot of work, and that also was meticulous. She does the same thing if an airport's closed, if certain terminals are closed, she tells you how to travel in and out of the country. She is your travel go-to guide, and she's one of the best that we've seen. We've seen a few that are actually living back in the U.S. trying to give information, but Jennifer's like boots on the ground.
Well, not to mention, she doesn't do it rote, meaning there's a lot of travel channels that read verbatim whatever's online out to you. She doesn't do that.
There's nothing wrong with that, because we see a lot of commentary and people that, will have tablets in front of them during lives or shows. And there's nothing wrong with that. But Jennifer knows her stuff. That's the biggest difference, because I'm not going to hate somebody for Googling during, a show or live or something, because there's so much misinformation or information. You get thrown a lot of questions. So check out Jennifer Terri also, which will bring us to number 11. Again, this isn't in order, guys. We just listed them. So 11.
Myks Philippine Journey.
Myks Philippine Journey. We love Myk. He's a gentle soul. He does a lot of commentary. He does a lot of watching over.
He does Rafi Tufo.
He does a lot of Rafi Tufo, and he elaborates on what's going on. He gives bachelor advice on women, on what to do, and he does like both sides. He is very meticulous, very smart, very intelligent. We highly recommend. Now, some people, it's not his cup of tea, like our channel or Sunshine Shoulders. Some people have problems with what they feel is going against the flow. But if I was coming to the Philippines, I would want the hard truth, only the truth. And what do they say about not knowing the truth? They're just walking through everything blind. And you don't want them sunshine, and like we've been saying for years, you don't want that sunshine and rainbow pixie dust all over. You just don't want it, guys. You really need to know what's going on, because moving to the Philippines is a very serious situation. A lot of people don't take it serious. Some just grab a couple $100 and they buy their tickets and they're on X amount of money and they don't plan and they just go with it. To me, that would probably be what George would do. We're two different types of people. If it was up to George, George would sit there till retirement at 61 and he'd be like, you just grab a bag and just buy a ticket and then on the way here. But although you're Filipino, you lived in the U.S. for how many years? 26? Okay, so he had been out of the Philippines for a while, but he was born and raised here, and you did your thing while you were here, had a family. So it's not like he was super young when he left. And a lot of people think that Filipinos, you know, that come back home had never been here situation. But that would probably be your planning as a Filipino. You would just go. But really, you guys should plan things out. And the last one.
Baby May.
Baby May. Today with Baby May, that's a lot of interviews. She shows a lot of places. Looks like recently she did relationships in the Philippines. She does a lot. She talks to a lot of the women. And so there's a lot actually going on her channel. Again, she's meticulous.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel today with Baby May. So today with my husband to help to my YouTube channel about the story I meet the young lady in working in Malaysia.
Okay, so she does a lot of interviews. You just heard her if you could hear. And here in the last year,
up and growing channel.
Very up and growing channel, and we're very proud of her. She has finally gone over her 20,000, and we're more than proud of her. So that completes our list of the top 12 vloggers that we feel have talent. They're informational. They've really put a lot into their channel, and we know so because we've been talking to our YouTube manager, and she talks about what the key points are to actually doing a channel. And after we talked to her today, I said, no, now's the time, George, to put out that list of vloggers that really have put that in there, and they all deserve channel managers like that. They really do. So, but that's all we have today, guys. Anything else, George? Mm-hmm. Just being quiet again. Mm-hmm. Why don't you put on these glasses? Because really, maybe something could come of it. Yeah, I knew you would look like an 8. You look like Jerry Lewis. Tell the people goodbye.
Goodbye, y'all.
As we always say, guys, keep your heads up and your hearts open, and we will see you soon in the Philippines. And tell them to kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks. Bye.